just don't do the things that you follow through with. And so you wonder, how can I move to a place where I am hopeful? Well, just like we did with Maria, it's a matter of asking questions to yourself, asking different types of questions rather than listening to the voice of fear. Listen to the voice that's within you that's hopeful. It's there. It's hiding. But you have the power to bring it out, and it's your choice. You can choose fear or you can choose hope. The next time you feel a little motivating pull in a direction that you know you should go, a hopeful place, then pause right there and ask yourself, in my version of my best future, my most hopeful future, what does that look like? Begin to write it down, journal about it. Ask yourself, what else, and get a very clear picture of what that looks like for you. What does success look like for you? What is your best hopes? You see, with solution-focused brief therapy and with solution-focused mindset, the very foundation of it kind of all wraps up around what is your best hopes. You want to take a person from doing what we naturally do and think about our problems to saying, wait a minute, if that problem wasn't as much of a problem anymore, what would that look like? What is my hope of what it could be? Sometimes that's why that person came to me and said, hey, can you please talk a little bit about how this is all related? Well, I think sometimes when I'm working in the place that I do, being a solution-focused specialist, I automatically assume that you guys all can put that together. So I do apologize if you're also out there thinking, wow, you talk a lot about hope. How is that lined up with solution-focused? Well, that's how it is. It's the very first step in being someone with a solution-focused mindset. The very first step in helping your child or another individual do the same is to help them find out what their hope is in their life. Many times it is worded as, what is your best hope? But it can be just, what are the things you're hopeful for? What are the things that you envision in your life? What are the things you hope to accomplish? These are all the things that expand our mind. And what we finally realize is that by answering a question like that, we can begin to see a pathway, because the mind is amazing. Our mind is a tool, and it is going to look for pathways of success if we let it. But if we are constantly thinking about the problems, how in the world is it going to see a pathway to success? So the very next question, the same one I asked Maria, is, what do you think needs to happen to reach that goal? To begin to look at that best hope as a goal. If you, for instance, are hoping that your child will be able to make new friends, maybe they have a circle of friends that you feel like is just unhelpful to them. So if that is a goal for you, what do you need to do to help that happen? Do you need to put them in different activities with different people? Do you need to establish a play date with the neighborhood friends that you respect and that that maybe they haven't had an opportunity to be around or get to know? There are things that need to happen, that there are the next steps. And when you ask yourself that question, then the only thing that's left is for you to take action on it. The only thing that's left is you to say, okay, I see a hopeful future. I see what my hope is. These are some things I know that I need to do to get there. And then you take that step forward. You allow yourself to do that. I have had many situations during my years of being a solution-focused practitioner that I've learned about how goals are simply the realization of the future that you're hoping for. I mean, think about it. Many times solution-focused say, well, we're not a goal-oriented type of therapy. And that's true. But in a sense, isn't that exactly what we're doing when we are deciding what our goals will be? Is we're saying, where do we want to go and how are we going to get there? Absolutely. So a solution focused way of looking at goals is that it's simply the realization of the future that you are hoping for. When you accomplish your goals, you feel successful, but success looks different for everyone. I mean, sometimes you might conjure up what somebody means by success, but being successful looks different to everyone. And it's so important that when you're talking to your kids, for example, that you find out what their version of success is. You don't want to accidentally put your expectations of success onto them. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that we make as adults is we have an expectation and we want to put it on our children and put it on other people and, slam it down their throat. And it's completely unhelpful. But what is helpful is when we find out what that other person hopes for and then help them move towards that. You see, success to your child might be that they're able to accomplish a goal in a video game, or they're able to have more time with friends, or, who knows? And then success for you might be, they need to be prepared to be able to get good grades or to succeed in their sport. There's some things that are going to overlap, but for the most part, sometimes you need to stop and get on the same page with your child and find out what success is to them. Even for yourself, get in touch with what success means to you. Again, I lean a lot on journaling, but journal about it. Just start getting all of your thoughts out. What does it look like for me to be successful? And then different categories of your life. What does it look like to be successful at work? What does it look like in my role as, a manager or employee? What does success look like in my role in my relationships, my romantic relationships, my family, with my children, with my friends? What does success look like? And what does success look like with my finances? What do I feel like that's going to be, and what steps can I take to get there? You can take any category of your life and you can decide what success looks like. And it's going to be different for everyone, and that's okay. So I think that the whole key of making sure that we're not just living motivational speech to motivational speech, that we're really able to then say, what do I hope for, is first of all, to ask yourself the right questions, and then to be very real with yourself to say, what does success actually look like? Is it someone else's version of success that I've been chasing after? If so, how can I rearrange that to be what feels right to me, what I actually want for my life? And then what steps can I take forward to do that? Because hope requires, it kind of asks for action within you. It requires a step forward as well, because you believe you have the ability to choose it. And once we choose it, it's inevitable that we're going to want to take action. Your child's going to do the same. If you unlock hope in them, all of a sudden they're going to begin to come up with ways that they can begin to accomplish whatever goal that you guys have come up with. So let's talk a little bit more about how we can really bring hope into our life in a way that's productive. I think that most parents have motivation. The way I look at it is that if you are a parent that cares about your child's future, chances are you're already motivated. You're motivated to see them grow up in the very best way that they can. The question I have for you is, what are you motivated by? Are you motivated by the fear of something going wrong, or are you motivated from a place of hope? This is when we need to get really real with ourselves. We need to question what our motives are, because we can do a lot of good things, but our motive is trying to have something not happen. I don't want my child to fail. I don't want them to be left out. I don't want them to fall behind. I don't want them to miss out on an opportunity. You can go on and on and on. All of those type of reactions are reactions instead of being proactive. And in fact, they come from a place of being fearful that something could go wrong. Now you could say, hey, I've had a lot of success with that. But it makes you wonder, if you were able to ask yourself the type of solution-focused, hope-filled questions that will move you from being motivated from a place of fear